What is up, everyone? It is week 4 of our series, The Messengers. And we're going to talk about Paul and him on a missionary journey. And I'm going to blank on all the cities now. But I believe Macedonia is in there somewhere. So it's Acts 16, 9 through 15. So read that this week before you get in. And I used to say this all the time. I had a volunteer many moons ago. Her name was Nicole. And she would, while she's driving to work, she would open up the Bible app. And then she would go to like that week's story and just have it play. So she would listen to it in the car while she was driving to work. So like, she's like, I got 8 minutes to get to work. And she would just play the Bible story and maybe just a whole chapter or something. So we are in that God's message goes everywhere. So it's now about Paul, who was Saul, we learned in week 1, and he meets Jesus and changes his life, and now he is spreading the gospel. So the first thing in your first small group, start by introducing yourself and getting to know the kids in your group. We had a training just this last weekend. If you couldn't make it, we're going to do kind of a two-fer of everyone's going to get the notes from the training. You're going to get like kind of a PDF of like, hey, hit these things. We want you to know these things. If you couldn't make it, there's going to be a snippeted version. That's not a real word, but here we are. So it won't be the full 1 hour that we spent, but it will cut out all of my tangents and my rants and my rabbit trails. So, which to me sometimes are the best part. So, sorry, it'll also cut out Hannah's son walking in front of me 19 times, which is just the best thing that happened at the start of that meeting. So our first small group, you're going to say, hey, I'm Trevor. Who are you? Especially if you have any new kids, who are the new kids in your group? And then you're going to play a game, and it is going to be like called the alphabet trip. So you're going on a trip, and you can bring one thing, and it has to start with an A. So I'm going to bring, I don't know what starts with an A. This is a bad start for me. I'm going to bring apple juice on my trip. And then you go to the next kid or next person in your group, and they have things that starts with a B. So then they say, I'm going on a trip, and I'm going to bring my Balegas. Those are my socks. I'm wearing some right now. They're my favorite kind of socks. I buy them at Fleet Feet. I'm going to bring my Balegas on my trip, and I'm also going to bring apple juice. And then the next kid goes and goes, I'm going on a trip, and I have to think of something that starts with a C, and I am going to bring the cords. I'm going to bring charging cords, and also Balegas, and you keep going around the circle and see how far you can go. For K1, if that's too tough for them, and it could be, maybe it's not, but maybe it is, just have them think of an A, a B, a C, a D. It'll make them remember all of the things there. So we'll do that for about 15 minutes, that whole small group. You'll come over at 6:45, 8:15, 11, or 9:45 and 11:15. You'll come over, we'll do our large group time together. We'll practice our memory verse, and then we'll have a game called, it's called I See It, which is the Don't Get Sued version of Spot It. And so there's going to be a slide on the screen that's going to have like 10 pictures on it, and 2 of them are the same. And it's a race to see who can stand up and shout out what the 2 pictures that are the same are. So it'll be like, there's an animal version and a food version. So your service can choose what you play. So it'll be like bread here and bread here. But then there's like a taco and a corn dog and a this and a that and a that. So you're trying to race. 2 ways you can play that game. One is you can have every single kid in the audience be playing at one time. First person to stand up and shout out bread wins. The other option is you bring 2 kids up on stage and give them each a handheld microphone, and the first kid to shout into the microphone, bread wins. So this is totally your choice. Just play that until about 15 minutes into that time, which puts you at my mind is broken. So it'd be like about 7 o'clock. Okay, about 7 o'clock on Thursday night, about 10 o'clock at 9:30, 9 o'clock and 8:30 and 11:30. My brain, it can't do it. Worship, story, head back to your small groups. Discussion, questions. This is one thing we talked about at the meeting. I want your small group times to be 65% relational, 35% Bible. Here's what I mean by that. You have all these questions about the story, but if the only thing, sorry, there you go. If by the time your kids go home, the only thing that you did in small group was talk about like tell me what the story was, we've missed out, because no one hears a story and talks about facts about the Bible and goes, that's why I follow Jesus, is because of Bible story facts. They go, no, they follow Jesus because of life change. And we learn that from stories. That's why we review the stories, because people's lives are being changed in these Bible stories. But it's also going, okay, but how does Jesus change your life? How did Jesus change my life? So you have these questions. You also have a dig deeper section for the older kids. You can even open up the Bible and have them read it. Younger kids, that's a little bit tougher. Sorry, it's like really glary off this window. Again, prayer requests. Ask your kids what's going on in their lives. Hey, how can I be praying for you? How can the group be praying for you? Pray for your group. If no one has any prayer requests, that's okay. We provide, let's see if you can see it. We provide kind of a scripted prayer. So if you have a kid in your group and maybe hey, who wants to pray? No one wants to pray. Hey, can someone just read this prayer? That works too. Then you have a couple of choices for activities. One of them is going to be, I'm going to do the second one first here, just FYI. Oh, no, I'm not. It's age specific. Okay, so for our younger kids, you're going to get a map that looks like this. You're also going to get an ink pad with blue and with green ink, and you're going to get wet wipes. And you're going to have them one at a time put one finger in the green ink pad and put it on land, and then the next kid will put one in the blue and put it on the water. And you're going one kid at a time, one finger at a time. You're going to cover the entire map in blue and in green. And you're going to say, as we discovered today, Paul traveled over land and sea to deliver God's message. Let's create this map with our fingerprints to remember that God's message goes everywhere and we can be a part of it. So you can, if you would like to use crayons instead of fingerprints, that's okay. But you'll have to figure out how to do that by sharing them, because I'm printing out like not enough for every kid to have one. It's really a couple per group. So I would just say let them get messy and then wipe their fingers off. Nothing's gonna go wrong with that. I mean, something could go wrong with that, but no one's gonna die. No one's gonna die. The other one is a game where the kids are gonna be basically taking a box, and it won't be a Kleenex box. That's just what I had in here. They're gonna take a box, and you're gonna be racing to pass it. So it says like, hey, you can pass it over and under, two teams, fourth versus fifth, if you want, over, under, or side to side, or hey, you have to throw it, but you have to keep your eyes closed the whole time. Like you can do kind of make it up however you want to go. And then the last thing is memory versus practice, and you have candy in your small group bins, and you can practice that. And then by that time, church will be about done this week. Tyler is preaching, so it'll go on time. But we also are doing child dedication, and because of that, I am hosting on stage. And I'm doing the child dedication. So I will basically not be there this weekend. I'll be around, but I won't be in the rooms. So if you can accept and decline this, if you're watching this up to this point, you've already accepted or declined. So, but we want to make sure you have enough people, enough subs. I already know some people last week were like, hey, I'm going to be gone next week. And I was like, great. And, honestly, great. Thanks for telling me that. And then it hit me of like, oh, I'm not going to be there. So now I have to figure that out. So that's what we got going on this weekend. Have a great day. Have a great week. I will see you on Thursday. I'll see you on Sunday. And again, I won't be there, but I'll be there. So have a good one. I will see you guys later. Peace out.